Hey everybody, this is Dave coming to you from the Gaming Cave, and today we're going to take a look at something new that I got. I bought it off of eBay, so it's going to be a what's in the box instead of necessarily an open the box, because it is Fleet Commander Nimitz, the World War II Pacific Ocean Solitaire Strategy game by Danvers Games, and this is the second edition. Now, this game is not shrink wrapped, so it was previously owned, but it's unpunched. The box has a little wear on it, but I'm okay with that. I got a pretty good price on it, a nice deal. A date which will live in infamy. Chester Nimitz was selected as Commander-in-Chief of the United States Pacific Fleet just after the attack on Pearl Harbor. He took command and quickly organized his outnumbered forces to halt the Japanese advance. As ships, men, and aircraft become available, Nimitz shifted to the offensive and drove the Japanese forces back across the Pacific in one hard-fought battle after another. Fleet Commander Nimitz includes 4 historical campaigns. They're the years 42, 43, 44, and 45, and each campaign has its own sets of ships, aircraft, and infantry counters that help, because we all know that during the war, the Japanese, the longer it went, the less trained they were, and the U.S., the more trained they were. So they got better as the went on. This is a solitaire game. It comes with a full-color mounted map, 8 full-color counter sheets, a 10-sided die, a full-color tactical map, a player log sheet, and full-color rules booklet. Okay. All right, so let's take a look and see what's in the box. This is by far the biggest box. I'm assuming it's about 4 inches because it's bigger than my B17 box, which I believe is a 3-inch box. So let's open. What is this? Hey, okay, here's the die. This is the expansion. Expansion 1, Adversary, Admiral Yamamoto. I didn't know this was going to be in there. All right. The expansion adds Japanese fleet cards and counters to your Fleet Commander Nimitz game. All right. I've been looking at this. Oh, wait a minute. Oh my gosh, you guys. Fleet Commander Nimitz Total War expansion. That's another expansion. Well, here it is. The third one. Fleet Commander Nimitz Island Battle Sheets. This is all 3 expansions. I did not know they were coming. We'll have to take a look at all of this. Well, okay, now I'm excited because this was different. I did not know all of this was coming in the game. The reason the box wasn't full to the top is because the insides had been taken out, which I've started doing myself a little bit. Here is the second edition rules, and as typical Danvers quality paper, of course, the high gloss, plenty of color pictures, solitaire decisions, description of all your components, force counters, force descriptions. So, this is typical stuff that we get from Danvers on these rules. Looks very much like all my leader games. It's just got a lot of different things, the sequence of play. So this is a little different game for me. I haven't played one of his Commander games yet. So I'm really looking forward to this. The rules are 23 pages long. Okay, let's see what else. This is the map board. Okay, these are your campaign cards, your setup sheets. So this was 1945, and it lists all your Japanese forces, your U.S. forces, your campaign evaluation, the type of what your carrier groups carry, depending on the type of carrier it is. Here's 1944, and 43, and 42. And of course, the Fleet Commander Nimitz log, single-sided, which we'd make copies of. Here's all our sheets. 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 sheets, and I believe that's what the box said. It said 8 full color counter sheets, so I'm not sure. Oh, we'll have to do some looking at this. These are the Japanese. They have the rising sun flag on the left side of them. So here's some of their carriers. The other side shows their reduced side, aircraft, infantry, or the ground forces. So we have that one. Here's another Japanese, some more of their cruisers and destroyers and carriers, and of course aircraft again, and the reduced side. This is the U.S. So here's our carriers, cruisers, aircraft, some infantry, more aircraft in the reduced side, destroyers and carriers. These are different years. So you have 42, 43. So these are there's some 42. They switched to 1943, so you can see up close. We'll get into what all the numbers mean. Here's more Japanese. These are 1943. And Japanese 1944. And U.S. 1943. And U.S. 1944. And on this one, these are the Australian. So you have Australian aircraft and Australian infantry. And more Japanese, 1944. And more Japanese, 1945, and some U.S., 1945. And U.S., 1944. U.S., 1944. Some more Australian down here. U.S. 1945, and some Japanese 1942s. So we gotta, when we punch all this, we gotta make sure we sort it. These are the markers for who controls islands. So they're Japanese on one side and U.S. on the other. And now we start to get into order cards, so order tiles. So these would be the Japanese orders, more of the markers. Battalions, and then resupply, and the moved markers that we'll use. These are airfields here, and our campaign turn, battle location, battle turn, movement order. Okay, and 1945 U.S. And then here's the U.S. orders, transports that we have out there to move the infantry from different islands, scouting. So again, battalions. So that's all the counters. Then we have, this is your tactical combat map. So this is an island, and then this is just a representation for the battle turns. So when we do our battles, they'll be fought on this type of map. So you'll have your ocean out here where the carriers are, and then you'll have your coastal areas where your transports and your ships, if you want them to do fire onto the targets on shore, so the support that way, the naval support. Then we have the infantry and the airfield, so it's all represented here. So you move them from the big game board, you move them onto this tactical map. And it also has setup, tells us how to do the setup, and then it has combat, so it shows us what's the order of play when we're doing our combat. So we draw Japanese battle plans, we move US aircraft, we move Japanese bombers, fighters, and then we do combat, dogfight, AAA, bomb runs, torpedoes, depth charges, naval guns, infantry advance, return aircraft, inflict airfield losses, and advance battle turn counter. So this is our order of battle for the battles. This is the game board, and it is a mounted. See if I can get it to unfold here. Move my die out of the way. Let's see here. It's a pretty good size map board. And so here you can see it's got Japanese reinforcements up here, battalions, new Japanese forces, submarine raiding, 1945 Japan invasion. We have Alaska, U.S. reinforcements, U.S. supply points, the West Coast, where we'll have reinforcements coming from, Japanese resupply, sequence of play, Japanese orders, and then way down here is the start turn counter. So it goes every 2 months, the turns do. So that this is, as we progress through the year. Okay, strategic bombing, we'll get to that, sequence of play. Okay, so that's the base game of for edition 2. But what I bought, also I happened to see it on eBay, was, I'll set this aside. I bought, a gentleman had some kits on there, and one of them contained edition 3. So Fleet Commander Nimitz, edition 3 rules. And in these rules in red, they highlight in red the changes that are different from the edition 2. So it makes it easy to find what they made changes with. So that's all really cool. Okay, so I have the edition 3, but also with edition 3 came a new map board. And this is the new map. So I can get this to lay down here. All right, so my understanding is, they put a few extra identifications on here, but the real changes are in this Japanese resupply area, and scouting roles are on there now. So that's where the biggest part of the change is. I'm sure there's some other ones, and I didn't look at them real close to see what the difference was yet, but this will be the board that we'll be playing on. So this one here is for revision 3. I'll slide it up there so you can see it. So same things here, Australia, West Coast, the Hawaiian Islands, Midway, all those things right there. Okay. All right. So that was a plan. But now, man, I'm so geeked because, look, we got this stuff here, and I wasn't even planning on this. So here's the Admiral Yamamoto expansion pack. And hang on just a second. I'm going to see if I can get my scissors and open it. Okay, so I have the shrink wrap off of it. So let's open it up and let's see. Whoops. Let's see what's in here. These are fleet counters. So I believe, if I understand right from what I've watched other players with, that we have fleet cards here that will tell you which ships go on these fleets. And so my understanding is in this game that you'll have some randomness to the moves. So one thing I read was, everybody needs to understand, this is not a simulation of the war in the Pacific, where they're going to go here. The Japanese are going to go here and here, and they're going to do things just exactly like they did. That's not what this is. This is a game that gives you strategy that gives you the right flavor for the war, but it's not going to be the exact way that it played, because if it is, everybody knows exactly what steps to do. Now, there's some things you're going to kind of intuitively know what to do, but this helps. And my understanding is this pack here helps organize these fleets, so it takes some of the odd randomness out of carriers moving, separately and being scattered all over the ocean, when the Japanese fleets didn't do that. They moved them in fleets. So we have the fleet markers for the different years. So this is awesome. So all of these are fleet markers, and they're for different years. 45, 44, surface fleets, battleship fleets, carrier fleets, okay? And then in here we have the actual fleet cards. So this is like a 1942 surface fleet, number 1, Caroline Islands. And so that's what makes that up, okay? Here's a 1944 surface fleet, East Asia. And this is what's in that one. So this was awesome. I wanted this. Man, I can't believe it came in the game. And then, of course, this is the addendum to the rules. It's going to explain all this to us. Okay, so they gave us these, how to use the transports, the scouting, the orders. So I'll have to read this along with the rest of the rules. Make sure I incorporate this into there. Okay, awesome. Now they gave us expansion, Total War Expansion, 1942. So let's see what's in the bag, which I didn't know we were going to be doing in the bag, but that's cool. So we have 1942 Total War Expansion. So the difference here is you're going to get fewer supply points, but they're going to go up as the years, so your replenishments and things change. Okay, 1943, we have that one, 1944, and 1945. Okay, so this lets you play the total campaign. So in other words, instead of playing each campaign separately, and then, you finish campaign of 1942, then you set up for 1943. And my understanding is you may or may not, I'm not sure yet, so I don't want to get quoted on it yet, but we may have, in the old one, you might have sunk some carriers and then they show up in 1943 again, but you just got rid of them in 42. So I'm not sure exactly how they handle that yet, but we'll learn about that. And of course, they sent us a rule sheet, two-sided, on how to use for the war. And then they give us this is for supplies. So this is your build table. So how you build and get your reinforcements. It's one-sided, it's on cardstock, which is nice. So you choose and you pay supply points, and it helps you build your capacity so that, as the U.S. got better and better and you get more things, then you get that. But you also have to handle home front morale, where you can get delays in production, or you can speed up production because you have good morale on your home front doing all your building, which is really part of the way the war went. So they gave us some more counters. They gave us more Japanese battalions, some fortifications, the built markers that go on to that resupply, and then of course resupply markers, it looks like. Or I guess those are your supply points. So this is how we add them up. They got 10 and 5 on this side. Okay. All right. So that's that one. And then I got, man, I cannot believe this. What a great find I got on this deal here. This was luck, because it did not have this in the description. If it did, I missed it. These are the island battle sheets. Okay, so remember on that first map I showed with the island, that was where you did all your battles. Now they have individual island sheets. It's one sheet, so it gives you a few guidelines for those. So we'll just look at a couple of them. And then this just overlays right over the top of the other one on the top half of it. But it gives you special rules. So this is the Philippines. It's got where you put your Japanese come in, where your US comes in. So it works exactly the same, except it looks like the actual island now. But you have rules. Japan draws one extra battle plan each battle turn there. If the US has never held the island in the game, we inflict one hit on US infantry at the start of each battle turn. So to take this is going to be very difficult. Here's Samoa. Same type of layout, but here in the rules, if the Japanese begin the battle with forces ashore, advance the Japanese resupply orders by 2. So they get more. You know, we have Midway Island. The invader may not have airfields until they hold the island. So whoever holds the island holds the airfield. New Caledonia. New Guinea. Okinawa. Wake Island. Solomon Islands. The Mariana Islands. Iwo Jima. Alaska. The Hawaiian Islands. Borneo. The Caroline Islands. The Marshall Islands. And the Gilbert Islands. So there's a lot of island maps there. Man, I'm so geeked about this game now. I was excited before. This is going to be, this is great. This is awesome. What a buy. I gotta get on eBay and really thank that guy for this, that I bought this from. Because this was a total surprise having everything in it. But this is awesome. So, you know, we'll get this. I got to read the rules. I got to do a couple test plays. And we'll see when we can get this game. I really want to play the Total War campaign. We'll see, you know, that could take, I'm not sure how many battles we can get on a video or how long. You know, I don't like to go over an hour for sure if we can avoid it. So we'll just have to see how long it's going to take when we start playing. But I really want to get into use the Total War because I want to see how that works and show you guys. So when we do play, we're going to use all the expansions. We're going to use the 3rd edition because that's awesome. And then we'll see how it goes. So we'll be getting this on the table this weekend probably. And we'll see if we can start making some videos of it. And I'm really geeked about it. It's a different type of game because this is more of an overall strategy. And then you just have your battles that you play out, and that's where your dice comes. But, you know, you got to use your mind a little bit and have your strategy, how you're going to tackle some of this. So I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be a great game to play, and I'm really looking forward to it. So I'm glad. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. I appreciate it. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. It really will help. And we'll see you at the playthrough. Thanks.